my name's Tim Walmlsey. I'm the Director of Marketing and Communications at the Dispute Resolution Authority, the DIFC, which includes the courts, the Will Service Centre, which we're talking about today, Arbitration Centre and the Academy of Law.
My name's Kaye Rawlings. I'm an Account Director at Impact Novelli, and I was a part of the team that worked on this campaign, this award-winning campaign. So, Wills and Probate Registry has only been around for a matter of 3 years, so very sort of unknown amongst its key audience, which is residents and investors, non-Muslim residents and investors in Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah. So we really wanted to kind of create a big sort of news story to kind of drive that awareness, and also launch their new online property will. Essentially, the main challenge, or one of the main challenges, is actually quite a sensitive issue. So we wanted to kind of tap into some consumer insights in order to kind of make it a bit more digestible for our audience and kind of create that awareness. And the way that we did that, we actually had a hunch. We had a hunch that people in Dubai and Ras Al Khaimah come to the UAE for a year or two, and they actually end up staying for much longer than that. And because of that, they don't actually kind of tack their life admin that's really important to kind of protect their future. So in order to test that hunch, we conducted some research which confirmed that 60% of people living in Dubai actually have stayed here longer than they expected, and not many of them have actually kind of protected their future through a will. So we packaged that news story and sent it out with sort of infographics and our data, and it got incredible coverage on print, online broadcast, and also on our social media channels. And we really think the reason is because we've really kind of hit home on Dubai zeitgeist, and so people were just eating that up, and it really was something that hadn't been talked about before. The second part of the campaign, we wanted to focus on consideration of the Wills and Probate Registry, and we did that focusing on the new online property will, the launch of the online property will. So we actually decided to focus on some thumb-stopping content with the idea that people don't need to actually bubble wrap their assets. They can actually do that protect their assets through a will. So we actually ended up bubble wrapping a house in Dubai, creating we videoed it, created this amazing video content, popped that on across all of our channels, and also sent it out as part of a news piece with the launch of the new online property will. And again, that got amazing coverage, and most specifically on our online platforms as well, of really engaging. Our audience are really engaged with the content.
Building on what Kaye has said, the key for us is to get people in the conversion funnel, and obviously awareness is important, but making a will is a really sensitive thing. There are many blocks to actually making that will. The online template will you can do online, you can do it without a lawyer, which is amazing, so it's a lawyer-free will. But obviously you need to think through about who's going to be the executor and who you're going to give your wealth to when you die, which is a tough thing. It's a tough conversation to have, it's a tough thing to think through. So that's why you need to sustain it with both high interest, and that's after that a call to action, which really enables people to take this step and go through their life admin. As a result of this, across the year, our online wills were running at 5% of the total number of wills registered, which for a new product, an innovative format in a difficult category, I think is a great result. The key objectives are really twofold. So one is to create a conversation around a difficult subject to converse about, the wills. And then the second one was to build a call to action, which then got people into the property will template portal and got them there starting to actually do the will. And then obviously after that there's the interaction to get people to finish it, because starting and finishing, two very different things.
Just in terms of results, I've actually got the stats here. So for the whole campaign, we achieved 17 million impressions through PR. Over 20,000 people watched the video itself. We generated 10,000 new visits to the website. We increased our Facebook followers by 1,000%, or more than 1,000%, and we reached a total of 350,000 people on social media. So I think those results kind of speak for themselves, and particularly for a brand or a service that's incredibly new in this market.
Yeah, I think what happens is because the largest piece of that was published in Gulf News. Gulf News has a disproportionate influence on people clicking online, we found, and so we got an amazing, very large double page spread there on the Dubai bubble, I think that's right. So that enabled us to convert editorial into web traffic. We did the same with Facebook social. So we had a clear line of sight from editorial through social into web traffic, and then obviously finally into conversion.
I think the service itself, I mean, it, as Tim said, it's a very sensitive subject, and the challenge for us was to kind of create that basically quite a dry topic, thing that people don't necessarily want to talk about, or actually do. People don't, they've actually admitted in our survey, they put off these life admin tasks. People don't want to talk about it. So we needed to take that content into something that people did want to talk about and they found interesting. And that was the main challenge. And so we really hit home on this Dubai zeitgeist. And that's where I think, people, we send it out to the media, but it was on the radio, it was the talking point. This is a subject that people did want to actually talk about. And I think that's how we kind of overcame quite a big challenge.
Yeah, it's a tough subject, and a will is a grudge purchase. People feel compelled to do it, and they don't really want to do it. Whereas when you're in Dubai and you're setting up your family and you have assets here, then obviously the best thing to do is protect that, just in case the worst happens. And I think one of the great challenges in Dubai is people think they're invincible. Then nothing is ever going to happen. Whereas in life, well, we know what happens.
I think one thing that came out of this is this amazing platform, which is Take Care of Tomorrow. And that's something that we've kind of used across a lot of the things we've done since the campaign, really encouraging people to take care of tomorrow, because we know that they don't necessarily want to look to the future, and that kind of became a key message for us throughout the rest of our program, PR program.
I think the highlight for me was it was very liquid content, so it worked as a stunt, it worked as editorial, it worked as social, particularly the video side. It worked on multiple platforms, and as I've said before, it worked in terms of keeping people shunting through the conversion funnel. So I think that's what it is. That's what you want from a marketing perspective. You need the editorial to be an active part of what you're doing in terms of your marketing.
I think as well, just kind of working on the actual campaign, I think there was a huge amount of satisfaction that we'd overcome this challenge, because it really was a tricky one, and actually created a story that really resonated with people here, and they really genuinely wanted to cover it. They wanted to talk about it, and then that kind of gave us our results for our client, which was amazing.
That we made wills into a talking point. They stopped being a grudge purchase legal instrument that people have to do when on the verge of passing away, and they became an active way of managing your very active life here in Dubai and ultimately Ras Al Khaimah. So I think we made wills into something that not quite desirable, I'm not sure we can say that, but certainly something that was actionable and a practical thing to do. And we did it in a way that made it a conversational element too.